You ready?
Yeah.
Where's Eli at? Are you under there?
Yeah.
Open each door. So the cats, we have added a bunch of new things to their house since we built it kind of in the last part of last year. We added the plastic out here to keep any snow and cold winds out. We added these beds in here, and we have little outlets that we've added to the back so we can just plug these devices right in. But the cats really love these little warm beds, and they sleep in them every day. So let's just close this up. It's about 5 degrees out here today. It was 0 degrees when we woke up this morning. So it's gonna be a cold day, but you guys voted and you wanted a farm tour. So farm tour, you're gonna get. So it's gonna be a little different from our other farm tours because we're gonna show you all the animals, but we're also gonna tell you why we have each of those animals. This should be fun. All right, let's fill up some water. So we're in here with the pigs, with Barbie and Oreo. We got them last spring. Got them from a viewer on the east side of Missouri. And originally it was just for one pig, but we didn't want to have one pig and have her be lonely. And they're also supposed to be mini pigs. They probably are. We just fed them way too much. So here comes Barbie. Comes Oreo. So they eat our scrap food, our leftover milk and other scraps from the day. We put out a little bit of mini pig feed, and then we give them some water. And the reason we got them, I don't really know, other than we were really interested in having pigs and learning about having pigs, and we're not going to eat or breed these pigs, so they're really just pets. But the goal would be to learn more about pigs, which is what they've done for us, where we can eventually get some pigs that we would actually raise for meat and to have future pig babies on the farm. So we've had turkeys for a long time. We've had Slater here, I think we've had for maybe 4 years now. I think since like 2018, we got him as a baby turkey poult. This turkey right here, this Narragansett turkey, we hatched out this last year. And unfortunately, it looks like he's gonna be a male too. So we've got 2 males and we've got 1 female over here. And why did we ever get turkeys? Just like chickens and ducks, it's something that you learn how to raise one. Usually you can raise the rest. And we had fun with them all together at one point at our old house. That was the rental property. And then we started having problems when we moved Slater here, and we were pretty sure he killed either Annie or Leona, one of our favorite cochins. We enjoy having turkeys, but these turkeys, we really don't know what the purpose of them is. We get turkeys for food each year, but these guys are just for fun. So over here in our omelet coop, this is a standalone little coop that we let some of our roosters live in, that we don't want to put in with some of our bantam flock or our main flock. And this door's automatically opens every day, but it must just be too cold, so it didn't open today. So these guys we don't have a whole lot of plans for. They just free range over here, and really it's just to keep our hens from being overbred by too many roosters. And we do get a lot of emails and messages about people trying to give us roosters, and this is why we don't want roosters. We already have too many. If you have roosters and you're contacting us to send them to us, we don't want them. Joey was over here last night when we were closing up the chicken coop, and she's going again. She's going into the woods. There was something in the woods, maybe a raccoon or possum or something. She saw some eyes at night. I couldn't see it, but she was going nuts trying to protect the flock over here from some kind of predator. Oh, we got your favorite rooster. There's Manny, our white Moran's rooster. We really like him. See, right here has our salmon Faverol chicken. Can you say salmon Faverol?
Salmon Faverol chicken.
That's good. So regular chickens have 4 toes, and chickens like the salmon Faverol have 5. So here in the main flock, we've got our mobile chicken coop. We built this a couple winters ago. One, so we could move the chickens around to new spots throughout the year and never have like just a big dead spot of grass. We've got automatic water coming in from the gutters up here. Amelia, our 1 duck over here, our Muscovy duck. So we have solar on top of this coop so we can have lights inside and outside if we need them. We've got an automatic chicken door right there that opens and closes. We put some hay down this winter so it'd be warm in here. And and so we need to collect any eggs because it's only 5 or 10 degrees out. That one was just laid, it's warm. Normally we have this open so they poop right through the bottom, but for winter we put some hay down so it'll keep them warm down here. So here in our main flock we have about 40 or 45 hens and 4 roosters. We have a good variety of different chickens in here because we like to, 1, get experience with all kinds of chicken breeds, and 2, we just love variety in chickens and in the eggs that they lay, the different egg colors. And so if we ever wanted to breed a specific breed, we usually separate them out, like our I Am Chimani project we do each year. We'll separate them out for a little while to breed them, which that's one of our favorite and coolest breeds are our I Am Chimanis. Ah, couldn't catch Johnny. This is Amber. She's one of our Americana hens, but she is absolutely one of our favorites. If you're looking for cool egg colors, get a black copper Moran. They lay dark brown eggs, and we usually get at least one of their eggs every day. What do you got here, Eli?
I'm Charmy. My kids there.
I am Chimani.
Chimani. I am Chimani.
Aren't they cool? They are all black.
Yeah.
Black comb, black beak, black feathers, and even their bones are black inside their body. So, over here in the chicken tractors, this is where I think we get the most questions about why we have all these birds on our farm. So we started our channel in 2017 and we got chickens, and then we started getting into ducks and turkeys, and somewhere in there I started getting really into hatching and got really excited about hatching and learning how to hatch different birds. And somewhere in the summer of 2018, I saw some eggs on Craigslist for peacocks. But let's see what's inside. Aww. That one got so far along. And I asked Becky if it would be all right if we got some peacock eggs. What'd you say?
I said yes, that's fine. I think I asked how much they were though.
They weren't much. They were actually pretty cheap compared to most eggs we get. But I think I had to do a little bit of convincing because I don't think you were too excited about venturing out beyond chickens. I think I had to do some convincing.
I being hesitant on the peacocks, but emus I was definitely.
So in late 2018, actually in September 2018, so these guys are now over 3 years old, we hatched out Blue and Belle, our peacock pair. And while we tried to hatch out some other peacocks since then, we tried to hatch out some white peacocks last year and it just did not work out for us. So we're still working on that project, but we're really excited to have these two, and that kind of started our adventure into exotic birds. I'll show you the next one.
So these are red golden pheasants, and we got them shortly after the peacocks. Now this was different. You did not ask permission on these because I remember getting a package in the mail and you said, I won't tell you how much I spend on these.
But the shipping was $126.
Oh my God. We didn't actually get eggs. We got a pair, a breeding pair. Fire and Ember. It was an adventure because they were way more flighty and active than the other animals we had gotten. So they had gotten out a couple times.
Oh no, why's the door open?
That was pretty scary.
So yes, this was the first bird that I did not ask for approval on, per se. I think I just did it and then I told Becky about it. I actually put a post out on Instagram, I think, and I asked people what kind of birds they wanted to see or what they recommended, and I had no idea about the red golden pheasants. Some people brought it up. I looked them up and I thought it was a really cool idea, and so I got a pair from McMurray Hatchery. And these ones, of course, are regulated by our state conservation department, so we actually have to have them inspected once a year, and we have to keep them banded, and so they keep tabs on making sure that we keep these guys enclosed.
Careful, my hair not getting there.
And then in late winter, early spring 2019, I actually bought some Mandarin duck eggs for pre-sale on eBay, and then I think in that April, I got the eggs, and then about a month later they hatched out, and we had 6 Mandarin ducks, and they were really cool. And we'd hatched out the peacocks, we'd hatched out the I Am Chimanis, and then the emus, and then the red golden pheasants, and then now I was looking for some kind of exotic duck and came across them, and I just thought they were absolutely stunning, and they're so much fun. They make this fun little buzzing sound. And what are your thoughts on the Mandarin ducks?
Well, I remember going to the Missouri State Fair, and we had looked at the chickens that they were showing at the fair, and we came across some ducks that were call ducks, and they looked very similar to the female white duck. This was a good trade-off because their males on the standard is so beautiful with all the colors and stuff, but we like the small little waterfowl. So I'm glad we got these. These are really pretty.
And if people wonder why we started with so many birds, and then now we're on this big farm and we're starting to get into other farm animals. Well, we were renting on about a 1 or 2 acre property, and we really didn't have much space, but that was the one thing we could do on a small mobile scale, where we were just able to move them around in these chicken tractors or inside the mobile electric fencing. And so that's really, we were just doing with what we could with the space that we had at the time. And so that's really why we got into birds the way we did. And so now we're wanting to venture into some bigger farm animals now that we have more land, but we still have a big passion for these birds and hatching projects. There's Cleopatra, our Egyptian Fayumi. So the Hookbill project we started, I guess, a couple years ago. This is our 3rd year with them. This is Captain. This is the first Hookbill that we hatched out, and we found out about them and how endangered they were. There's a very small number of them around the world, and it was very difficult to come across eggs. And the Hookbill project seemed like a really interesting one where I could learn more about the breed and then also help the numbers of these birds by hatching out some of them over time. And this is the first year that we have them separated out. We've got 2 males and 2 females in this chicken tractor, and these 4 are a great place to start for our breeding project with them. There's Bubbles. Looks like a silky egg we got today. So down here at the pond ducks, we have squackers. We have squeakers, we have quackers, we've got 2 hookbill males that we don't need up with our breeding pairs, and then we have our black cayuga duck that we traded for late last year. And so these guys are just for fun. They originally were in with the main chicken flock, and we had problems with the male ducks breeding with the chickens, and so we separated them out down here. During the year they're able to go out on the pond, but right now the pond's frozen, and so we just keep them in here and they're able to just have fun. If we get a few eggs from them, that's great, but these ducks are just for fun. The pond is super frozen right now, so. Oh man, this is fun. Oh, Joey! Joey! Hey Joe. Hey Joe. Good doggy. Too much fun on the frozen pond. Probably the only good thing about this cold of winter.
So we're out here with Masla and Wild. We have her on a borrow. We have a deal with Good Cattle Farm where he took Dolly and Maisie, our cows, to get a bred. You'd be good. And we traded and got Masla so we can currently milk her. And then she's got a calf that's on her, and that's Wild.
Why did we get the cows originally? Because we really didn't plan on getting them last year.
When the pandemic hit, we knew the one thing that we needed was milk, and a lot of the time we went to the grocery store they were out of a lot of stuff, so we wanted to be self-sustaining. We ended up getting a milk cow so we can milk and we can make cheese and yogurts and everything that we need instead of having to rely on the grocery store. I mean, and it's troubling sometimes, but it's nice having milk here on your farm.
All right, we'll let you out, Masla. Here we go. So we started doing this aviary project at the beginning of 2020. We did the deck for the coop, and then at the end of that year, we built the rest of the coop, and then we put in these big power poles out here. They're 25 feet above the ground, and then our big center pole is 30 feet above the ground. And then we ordered fencing all this last year. It took us talking to multiple companies and talking to engineers and figuring out how to properly fence this for our needs, for snow loads, and try to figure out all kinds of things to keep birds in, allow us to get in at a couple different gates. They started the building process at the end of summer, and then they actually just started shipping it somewhere in December, and then it has arrived in the US. And so very soon we will get the equipment for the fencing for this aviary, and so we'll get to start on it here next few weeks if the weather cooperates, otherwise sometime in the spring, and then hopefully get all those beautiful birds back here soon. And then we need to start working on things like the pond over here, getting that figured out, getting some solar on the coop, and then start to do some landscaping in here to accommodate the birds. All right, who's here to help?
Isabella. She's been napping all morning.
All right, so we'll start over here at the quail shed. It's kind of a quail shed, kind of a catch-all, where we put injured chickens, things like that over in here. And right now we just have these button quail in here. And the button quail weren't our idea. The quail weren't our idea at all. We actually had some Tennessee red quail that we had over here, and we ended up selling them. Oh, last fall, we had somebody else that wanted them a little more than us, so we sold them off. And we had gotten them from a viewer that sent them to us that we didn't know they were coming. And then these button quail, same deal, we didn't know the eggs were coming, and we ended up hatching them out for a project. I think it was about a year and a half ago now. They're pretty fun to have. There's not a lot of purpose in having them, but again, we didn't choose to have them, so.
This is Pickles, our Lionhead Rabbit. We had two, but the female had died, so we have him, and the boys really love him. He's just a pet. He's a very gentle little rabbit.
Over this area, we've got our pigeons. These are our homing pigeons in here. We've got Leggy and Cody, our two right there, and we've had them for about a year and a half now. We didn't do a lot with them this last year. We get a lot of requests for updates and what's going on with the pigeons. And initially, it was just to try to do a homing pigeon project to work on getting them to fly home, and it was going well until we got up to a distance, and then some of them either got shot or taken out by a predator, and so it took our numbers down. And so we want to build them a bigger enclosure at some point, somewhere back behind the barn or somewhere else on the farm. And over here we've got a couple of our German owl pigeons. Somebody initially told us they were rolling pigeons, and they were not, so we got them to see the rolling, and they're not that kind of breed. So last but not least,
got our emus.
So next week, in 1 week, Bamboo turns 3 years old. Hey Cashew. Can't believe it's been that long since we hatched him out from an egg. And then a couple months later, we got Cashew and Peekaboo, our two blonde female emus. We have them on two separate sides of the fence here. We got Cashew here. We got Peekaboo over here. We get a lot of people that ask if we'd get a mate for her because she's ready to breed as well. And we would like to, but we also want to build the emus a bigger enclosure, a bigger area somewhere else on the farm. This was really just a temporary area when we first moved here. So as soon as we get time to put that together, this aviary is going to take a lot of time this spring, but as soon as we get time to work on that, we'll get them to a bigger area, and then we'll probably get another emu for Peekaboo. So Becky, why did we get emus?
It was a hatching project for you. You wanted to try to hatch out an emu egg. They seem pretty exotic, and their egg is beautiful.
So were you all right with me getting emu eggs?
Well, you had originally told me that we were going to hatch them out and then probably and eventually sell them. And I was okay with that because I knew they were a big bird, and in our previous house we could not house that big of an animal, so. But we end up keeping them, and we love them very much.
So we got the eggs, we hatched out Bamboo, and then we needed a few more so we would have a mate or a buddy for Bamboo. And so a couple months later, we had the two girls hatch out, and it just became a challenge to keep a bigger bird on our small rented space. And so that's when we started looking for the new farm. And so really, I think having these emus led us to look for this new farm sooner than we would have, because we just weren't really thinking about it or looking for it. And so if anybody's to blame for having this farm, it's Bamboo and the girls.
Yeah.
Hey Bamboo, it's almost your birthday. What do you want for your birthday?
Want a sock?
So a lot of people will ask us, why emus? Like, do they produce something? Like if we're a homestead where we have chickens for eggs, cows for milk, do emus produce something, or are they just for fun? And so we got them because we love challenging ourselves with different hatching projects, and so it was a lot of fun hatching them out. And then raising them, we really found a connection with them where they actually showed us affection, where Bamboo would come up and want to be hugged and held and petted. And so it was a different connection than we've had with any other bird. And so that's really what changed it for us, is just how friendly and fun they are. And then the boys getting to run around with them. I think they're always going to look back on that as a special time in their lives when they would run with emus. And so Ooh, and one more thing after our farm tour. We've got calendars. A little later than we'd like to get them out. It's almost into January now, but we'd love for you to check them out on our website. We have two options. We have one calendar that has just the calendar itself, beautiful pictures from the past year. And we have a second option that has a signed calendar by us. Has feathers inside. That's some of the emu feathers. Oh, there's one of Blue's beautiful peacock feathers. And we have a bunch of farm stickers. There's Bamboo, there's Blue the peacock, Johnny Cash, and those all come with that option. So check them out. Order one now. We've got limited supply. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. What are you doing today? You eating cereal? Say bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah, and then the dog gets real excited.